Having a flexible schedule, working anywhere, being in charge. Basically having your professional life in your own hands. Yeah, that's being a digital nomad. Hi, I'm Natasha and I'm a digital nomad. How many of you are working from home? Hands up. Yeah, me too. I think it's part of the new normal for some of us. Right now, I teach English online and have been doing so for the last several months, and I am my own boss. Finally! I've been able to use my location independence to work in Asia and Europe so far. That's what today is all about. Comparing digital nomad life in Bangkok and in Lisbon. I've broken it down into 6 main points. Where, internet, affordability, food, language and culture, and the cities themselves. I have experience in both of these cities. I am currently based in Lisbon, Portugal, and back in March I was teaching in Bangkok, Thailand. While I was in Bangkok, I was quarantining myself for the later part of my stay there. I haven't really talked to another human being that wasn't in the screen. But I do have a really good idea of what Bangkok is because I've traveled there before. So without further ado, let's get into it. Bangkok has a variety of choices at different price points. There are hostels, which would be good to meet people, and then there's also co-works. Wait a moment. If you don't know what a co-work is, I didn't until I got to Lisbon. It's basically a place where you can go to work, you have your own meeting rooms, sometimes a kitchen, and it has the added benefit of a community. But in a nutshell, that's what it is. In Bangkok, I found ones that have fitness studios, yoga rooms, cafes, restaurants, theaters. Honestly, the list goes on. There are also many co-livings to choose from, but book early. I was originally planning to be in Asia for much longer after my trip in the Philippines, but due to the pandemic, plans changed, things changed, so I ended up just staying in Bangkok. And I opted for a hotel because I got 50% off, because unfortunately for Bangkok, there wasn't much tourism. Lisbon also has many co-works to choose from, albeit they are priced much higher. It is the EU after all. And I think it's better to stay for more than a month because you get a lot of deals that way, you've got a lot of packages that way, and there's tons to see in Lisbon and the surrounding area. There is one co-living that I've been able to find, but it's quite out of my price range, so you'd have to be rolling in the dough to be able to afford that and everything else that people need on top of that. Another safe bet would be Airbnb or a flat share. I say this because it's really difficult to find a cheap / affordable place in Lisbon, and those would be your best bets. Also, depending on your work situation, there are lots of different cafes scattered throughout Lisbon that really cater to digital nomads. Just have to take care to see if they have a policy about what hours you can have your computer and for how long you're allowed to stay. Sometimes I like to plan my lessons in these places because it's just a different atmosphere. I like being around people and delicious food on top of the line coffee. Next is internet. For us digital nomads, that's a no-brainer. We need internet. It's essential. The internet connection in both cities is phenomenal. You don't have to worry about anything. When I was in Bangkok, I would call places beforehand to see if I could do a speed test. They were very accommodating. I had no problems doing that. And the internet connection was always very good. Right now in Lisbon, I do have to mention the fact that a lot of people are working from home. There's a lot of pressure on the servers and there's not much that the internet companies can do.
Because of cold.
So what I ended up doing was getting a little Ethernet cable. This little guy has saved me a lot of hell. So it's now going to be in my bag everywhere I go. So next place I go, I'm gonna make sure there's a router so I can plug straight in. I'm pretty sure Bangkok is cheaper than Lisbon, except for the CrossFit class that I went to before I quarantined myself. It's 25 euros a pop. It was worth it, but my mind was blown. If you're pulling in 1,000 euros a month, you would be able to live comfortably in Bangkok and maybe have some left over for a frugal weekend trip. But bringing in anything more and you've got money in the bank for the weekend trips to Vietnam, Cambodia, Myanmar, or other parts of Thailand. In Lisbon, I'd say you need more than 1,000 euros coming in to be comfortable. That's like having all your needs met. It could be done cheaper, but I wouldn't risk it. Lisbon has so much to offer, and if I've learned anything, the area, the neighborhood you set yourself up in will pretty much dictate how you'll spend your free time. Since you do have a flexible work schedule and you are in charge, you might as well use that to your advantage. Move around, work out, do something that fulfills you, makes you happy. Just get out there. And studies have actually also shown that a sedentary lifestyle, sitting down, not moving much, can lead to an increased risk of a lot of serious diseases like cancer, cardiovascular disease, dyslipidemia, type 2 diabetes. Using your legs, moving your body isn't just good for your mental health, it's also good for your physical health. I think in both places, the most expensive thing is going to be your accommodation. Lisbon is notorious for having very expensive rent and a little bit overpriced Airbnbs. Also, transport is very affordable in both areas. You can get a Grab. The BTS is pretty affordable. I only ever spent between 70 and 80 baht per trip. The riverboat is even cheaper, 20 baht, and you can go from the beginning to the end. Tuk-tuks in Thailand will try and rip you off. But what I ended up doing was Googling where I wanted to go on my Grab app, and then I showed them the price, and they usually brought the price down. And if not, they just went away, and I got myself a Grab taxi anyways. Here in Lisbon, you basically got the same thing. Lisbon also offers the Navigante pass, which is what I use. It's 40 euros per month, and it gives you access to all of the public transport in and around Lisbon. So that includes the riverboat, trams, buses, metro, and trains. The food scene in Lisbon is incredible. There's tons of international food options, and Portuguese food isn't that bad. Some of my favorites are feijão, pastel de nata, and port. A typical meal out for me would be anywhere from 5 to 15 euros, depending where I go and how big the meal, of course. Bangkok has everything. Lots of international foods. Why would you eat that when you're in Bangkok? You've got delicious Thai foods, and almost everywhere you go, there is a vegetarian option. It might sound cliche, but pad Thai in Thailand really is incredible. Go to a little hole in the wall and it is so tasty. Meals can run you up anywhere from 150 to 10 euros. 10 euros is more on the expensive side because those are usually coming from the more hip, trendy, up-and-coming restaurants. Vegan restaurants. In Bangkok, they speak Thai. You're shocked, I know, right? I found that people were very warm and welcoming, and they really appreciated when you did try. All I know are how to say Swadee ka and Kapung ka, but they always had a big smile on their face. If you can't speak Portuguese, that's not a big deal because there are a lot of people that speak English, Spanish. Just between you and me, I've been here for 2 years and I can count on one hand how many local Portuguese friends I have. It's hard to break into a clique. Maybe it's just me. Okay, we're coming up to our last point here, the cities themselves. In Bangkok, it took me a while to get over the pollution. I ended up having to buy a mask, help filter things out a little bit. But I know what Bangkok's like, and it's got tons to offer. It does have its quirks and its charms. So I really do think that you have to give it a bit of time, and you have to really put yourself out there. Now, Lisbon is an amazing city. It's also the architecture, the culture, the beaches, the forest in the middle of the city. Lisbon really is a gem. I've always had this strange need and desire to move from place to place. So I love being a digital nomad. Time to catch some rays and get some work done. It does have its cons, but all in all, I'm really happy with it. But when it comes to being a digital nomad in Bangkok and Lisbon, and which one I prefer, it's really difficult. On one hand, you've got Bangkok, where on the weekends, I find it really enticing to be able to travel to other places. So go to the north or the south of Thailand, or go to the surrounding countries and just explore things and just be in a different culture than what I'm used to. But you've got pretty bad pollution. And then you've got Lisbon, which has basically everything you can imagine. But it's not the most affordable. What would you choose? I think weighing everything up, I think I would prefer Lisbon. I might be biased because I've been here for longer, and around every corner there's a secret or a surprise, but I'm sure Bangkok has that too. So I'll be back Bangkok when the pandemic's over. Speaking of being a digital nomad, it's pretty much time for my next lesson. So thanks for watching. See you again soon.